Hey bro, I heard your bar chords straight suck. Well, don't worry, because it's time for another episode of Hot Tips for Your Tips. This episode is called Press Smarter, Not Harder. Alright, so if you're playing a bar chord and you're getting some buzzing going on, and you don't like it, and you want them notes to be clean as a whistle, your problem may not be that you're not squeezing the bar hard enough. I know a lot of people say, oh, you just got to build your hand strength. I think that's true to an extent, but I think a lot of the time what's happening is you're squeezing harder and harder, but the actual notes you need, you're not putting pressure on those. If you're squeezing harder, there's more pressure on your bar, but if it's not fixing the bar chord, you're squeezing in the wrong spots. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So let's say you play a typical A minor shape up at the 5th fret. Let's say you're having trouble getting the G string to ring out clearly. Say it sounds like this. What do a lot of people do? They'll just squeeze the bar harder. These notes that you already have ringing out well, you're just putting more pressure there. And any extra pressure put on strings that are already ringing out clearly is wasted energy. Okay, so what can you do to remedy this issue? So what we're going to do is a few simple bar chord exercises to get used to shifting the pressure in the bar itself. So when you lay your bar down, you can put more pressure across the entire bar. You could put more pressure at the top here. You could put more pressure down here at the bottom, or you could even put more pressure in the middle. Putting more pressure in the middle, your finger's going to kind of do more of this type of thing. It's going to kind of bend. If you were to put pressure on these two spots, the bar is going to look a little bit more like this. How does that actually sound on your guitar, and how does it feel, more importantly? Make a bar at the 5th fret, and you're only going to try to pressurize the top part of your finger, okay? That should look something like this. It should sound something like this. As you can hear, the low strings are sounding clear, but the other ones aren't. That's the goal. That's what you're going for. Now you're going to place the pressure on this part of the bar. Now you're going to try one that I think is particularly useful that happens all the time, and that's where you kind of bend your finger a little bit like this. So the middle strings, they should be buzzing or not get any sound out of them at all, and then the low string and the high strings, those ones should be clear. And we'll just aim for literally the low E and the high E. It also helps on this one especially to angle the bar a little bit, so it's not straight down, it's to the side. Now let's take these different examples and put them into more practical use. We're going to actually build some chords with these. Grab this chord right here, alright? What's most important about this one is that you're only putting pressure on the 3 low strings, okay? Not the high ones. If I were to take the other notes off and just leave the bar, it'll sound like the very first example we did. This bad. This good. With this next one, make sure you're putting pressure on this part of the bar. Go ahead and find this chord. As you can see, the tip of my finger is actually lifted off the strings. If I were to switch back and forth between having just the bar on and having the other notes on the bar, it'll sound like this. Now find that chord right there. With this next one, we're going to make sure the middle of your finger isn't putting any pressure, but the ends are. As you can see, the middle of my finger is barely touching the strings there, but the ends are, and also I have my hand a little bit rotated this way. Now alternate between just the bar and the bar with the added notes. Now the last one's definitely less practical, but let's do it anyways. Find this chord right here. For this one you only need the G and the B string ringing out. The E and the A, they can be muted. This one's a lot harder to do than the other ones, and if I alternate between the bar and the bar with the rest of the notes, So bro, next time a bar chord's giving you grief, spend some time thinking about where you're actually putting the pressure on the bar. Don't just squeeze harder, man. Squeeze smarter, bro.